Foreign direct investment is the name of the game in Nigeria. President Tinubu, for instance, in Germany, selling brand Nigeria, while governors at home are hosting investment forums and strategizing on how to entice diaspora Nigerians and others to invest in their respective states. Joining us from our Abuja studio to discuss further is Dr. Sunny Ofehe. He's the Executive Assistant to the Delta State Governor on External Relations and Diaspora Affairs. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. So, how do you plan to sell Delta states to Nigerians in the diaspora? You're welcome. How do you plan to sell Delta State?
Well, we're not only going to sell Delta State to the Nigerians in diaspora alone, but we're going to sell Delta State to the global community at large. Delta State is very easy to sell. Delta State, as it is today, is the gateway to the South and South region of Nigeria. Delta State, as it is today, is the only state with two major functioning airports. And Delta State today is the only state with four, despite being underachieving, four major seaports in the world. And we boast of about 165,000 square kilometers of coastline, which can also open doors to many economic activities. And of course, currently, we're the largest producer of crude oil in the country, and we have the highest gas reserve in the country. So we have all the abundant natural and mineral resources, even solid minerals to be precise. And in addition to that, we have high human capital development in the state because we pride ourselves as a state with the highest tertiary institutions in this country. So selling Delta State, it's as easy as, it's synonymous with anything that is good. And that is why we want to take a different approach this time around and look into how we can sell Delta State beyond crude oil that we are generally known for.
Well, that's a very nice investment pitch that you've just put forward there. If you're on a road show, I'm sure investors would appreciate hearing what you just said. But looking at crude oil, we have oil theft. Looking at solid minerals, we've got smuggling. How can you assure potential diaspora investors and other investors that the money they commit to Delta State will be safe and secure?
The current administration is currently working tirelessly to harness all the MDAs, to ginger all the officials that have been appointed, saddled with various responsibility to push the state potential in natural resources and human capital development to the world. So when you talk about the issue of oil theft, you talk about, that's why the focus in this current more agenda is on the area of infrastructure and security. And hopefully, if we start rolling out those policies, we'll be able to deal with those challenges that have been confronting us before now.
Well, what about everybody? I have to tell you, everybody watching in the studio, they love your jacket. What about fashion? What can Delta do in the area of fashion?
Thank you. In the area of what? Sorry.
Fashion, in the area of fashion.
Oh, in the area of fashion, well, we pride ourselves as one of the most dressed people in the country. There's this usual saying that worry not the carry last, so that has been a part of our DNA, growing up as kids. And so in the area of fashion, we're looking into textile. We used to have a Asaba textile mill in Asaba, and we know today that about 70% of what most people wear, including what I'm wearing today, are all made in Nigeria. So this current government is looking seriously on dragging in investments to look into the area of textiles so that we can not only improve on our usual well-known way of dressing, but also become, the hub for textile products, not just within Nigeria, but across sub-Saharan Africa countries.
Fantastic stuff. So that jacket is made in Nigeria. All right, so Delta State, #1 in fashion as far as dress sense. Yes. But I want to give you another ranking here, sir. Public Financial Data Organization Budget has ranked Delta State 11th out of 36 states for fiscal transparency. How can the new administration improve that ranking for Delta states?
Well, as we speak today, Delta State is currently having the Executive Council retreat, and all the MDAs have been put together. The Office of the Secretary to the Government is working tirelessly with His Excellency himself to ensure that we take a different approach to how it used to be in the past. So what we're doing now is to synergize all departments to ensure that they work together and information can flow. And then I watched your program this morning. I saw that there were criticism in the area of our website not having data and information as regards to how the FAC allocations are being spent and how the contracts are being put in place. But that is what we're working in. I met with the Secretary to the government a few days ago. We had this discussion, and he told me the government commitments to ensuring that we become one of the states that will put in a transparency mechanism that can ensure that not just only Deltans within Nigeria and outside, but also indeed Nigerians can be able to see how the financial revenue comes into the state and how these monies are spent. I can assure you that once this retreat is over and every of these executive appointees have taken their various responsibility, we will come back and change the narrative. Our scores will rise from where it is today and become one of the competing one and even challenge Lagos State.
All right, that's all we want to hear. But okay, I'm glad you preempted my next question already. I mean, do you have any idea why there are no contracts listed on the website? I mean, we just flashed it on as you were speaking about it there. So I'm glad you already preempted my next question. Well, why do you think that is? Why is there no contract on there?
Well, I wasn't part of the previous administration, so I wouldn't be able to answer that right now. But what I'm part of right now is the current administration, and I know that the governor is determined to ensure transparency in his government. In his inaugural speech, he made it clear to the world that he's here to change the narrative of what Delta State, what people used to know about Delta State. So the current statistics that is out there for people to see is what is actually galvanizing us to see that we put the right things in place. We're going to come out with a state-of-the-art website that is being currently worked on right now, and we're going to ensure that it's going to be people-friendly, user-friendly, and all the information that we think the public should know in terms of achieving our transparency principle will be put in place, and people will see what the government is doing moving forward.
All right, just a couple minutes to go, Dr. Ofehe. Will you be hosting any investment forums in the new year? I mean, this year is already over, so any investment forums, summits to attract investors to Delta State?
Yes, so far within the period my appointment was announced, I've made 2 trips to Nigeria, to Delta State, to critical sectors with investors who are looking in. And Delta State is gradually becoming more popular than it used to be because awareness is being created by this current administration. So with His Excellency, we're very sure that come next year, we're going to be hosting a globally attractive business forum, and that business forum is going to look into all of the potentials that we have, and we're going to invite those that we think will help us grow our economy and increase our GDP and our internally generated revenue.
Dr. Sunny Ofehe, Executive Assistant to the Governor of Delta State on Diaspora Affairs and also External Relations. I thank you so much for taking the time to talk to the Global Business Report on Arise News. Appreciate that very much.